Ladies and gentlemen, it's the illusion of choice! I know one that's quite nice. I'm going to cover it briefly because we are out of time pretty much, so I'll be running over just a little bit today for your benefit. Just a quick note before I go on, thank you very, very much for listening to the show today. We hope to have many, many more. And apologies again for the IRC network going down. It happens. I'm sure it'll be back up quite soon. If you wish to leave feedback for the show, my forum is the best place to do. That's forums.wcradio.com. Alternatively, you can leave it on iTunes if you so wish. iTunes reviews are always good, whether positive or negative. I really do not care either way. I would like the feedback. And yes, we did get some negative feedback this week, but that's fine. Just note one thing. Feedback goes both ways. It's not just a toilet wall you can scroll on and then leave. Feedback goes both ways. So if I think your feedback's bad, I'm going to give you feedback on your feedback. Yo, dog. And so forth. Right, quick one here for the illusion of choice. This one comes from Magnus Hester... I don't know what that is. Magnus Hestveen, I think. Hey ZB, just wanted to send a short email about something very sad that bothers me. Back in Vanilla and TBC, we often had people leaving our guilds to join other ones. We had to compete over the different classes and keep the progress going to keep the guild together. I've been in the same guild for 4 years now and I like it very much. We have survived harsh times and raided much of the Vanilla and TBC content, but now we're facing an issue we cannot handle. Due to boredom and lack of content, in wrath, people are starting to leave the guild due to quitting WoW. We are losing more members every day due to lack of content and stupid instances like Onyxia and Trial of the Crusader. I never thought I'd see the day when my guild would be destroyed due to lack of content. How sad is it? How many guilds I've seen go down for this very reason? It's even happened in TBC and Vanilla. Not as much, admittedly, but it has happened. And I think that Blizzard really needs to look into that. I think, to be honest, there's actually less and less gilded players these days, kind of as a reason for this. The player base is becoming more fragmented. And you can see Blizzard's attempts to try and fix that. Faction transfer. An attempt to fix the population imbalances on certain servers. And, of course, a money grab. Cross-server raiding and grouping. Yet another attempt to fix the lack of cohesive groups on any given server. It's very sad that you should even have to worry about that. You should even have to be concerned. But this is the result. This is what happens when you put out a content of just expansion full of garbage in terms of your content. And it really is. Put out one shining hope in the form of Ulduar, and then you follow it up with trash. Which is quite ironic, considering the instance in question doesn't actually have any trash in it. And then you expect people to swallow that for however long? Yeah. I don't know how long Icecrown's going to take. To be honest. It's not available for testing on the PTR yet. The 2 5-mans are. I would imagine there'll be a good couple of months of PTR testing at this point. So it's not going to be all that much, but I don't know. I think by the time Icecrown comes out, people are just going to be so damn sick of it. And anyone that wants to follow the proper progression path is going to run into the fact that the Trial of the Crusader is not very good. Some of the hard modes are vaguely interesting, Twin Valkyries, for instance, but that's only one fight in terms of the instance. Even the hard modes of Anubarak are not that hard in comparison to stuff that's gone before. And I've got railed on for this before. This was actually part of the feedback. Someone complained, said, oh, well, how do you know when you announced that there was only 7 guilds who had beaten it? Yeah, and how long did it take to beat Yogg plus 0? How long did it take to beat all of these other bosses? Let's be honest. Let's get real here. Let's not pretend that TOTC is in any respect a step up from Ulduar. It's a step backwards, a huge step backwards, and a direct result of lazy development. I don't like slagging off the developers. I'm sure they work very hard, but in this case they really phoned it in. And I think it's very important to point out to any creator, myself included, where they've gone wrong so that their future creations will be better. I hope they learned from TOTC and its relative failure, and I hope that Icecrown is going to be better as a result. The player base is going to take a lot more damage before Cataclysm comes out. Cataclysm is supposed to be the great renaissance. And currently we are, as Octale so aptly puts it, in the Dark Ages. And the Dark Ages are not nice for anybody. They're very unpleasant. They make people unwilling to be cooperative. They make people unwilling to help each other out. They make people unwilling to face challenges because they know that they basically mean nothing and that they were phoned in. It makes them feel bad. They want to just write off this entire expansion as one giant joke. As a failure on Blizzard's part. They screwed up. Hopefully they've learned and Cataclysm will be better. The feature list looks astounding. If I am not back playing full-time, and I say full-time is a very relative term, in Cataclysm, I'll be extremely surprised, let me put it that way. There's a lot of stuff there that really interests me, but again, such a shame that they had to get there on the backs and the bodies of dead guilds as a result of their phoned-in content. So sad. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. Thank you ever so much for listening. You are, as always, an absolutely astonishing audience. I'll be back same time next week. I will be in Holland, however. I'll be broadcasting from a studio in Holland. Those of you who are in Holland who want to meet up, email me. Drop me an email, themurloc@gmail.com, or a tweet. I will be tweeting at the start of next week the location of this particular meetup and the time. That's where we're going to be. So if a couple of you want to come and get a drink and talk WoW or whatever for an hour or so, then by all means. Shout-out time, folks. Got a couple of minutes. Send your shout-outs to themurloc@gmail.com. That is themurloc@gmail.com. Alternatively, you can tweet me if you wish. Or if you are on QuakeNet, you can also send it via IRC, whichever you prefer. Shout-outs, here we go. Can we get a shout-out to us, Steves and Looper, for getting around the Netherwing grind again, and hopefully soon getting our epic flying mounts. Yes, he did just say. Epic! And then he can ensure that he doesn't have to be
in the mountains,
because he can fly above the mountains. Thanks, Colladian and Duldor, Khadgar EU. Can I get a shout-out to Synergy on Quel'Thalas EU for reaching our 3-year birthday, and to those who have made it such a great place to be? Yes, you can. That is from Hornshade. Shout-out requests. Hey TB. Andro, a.k.a. Lamira, a.k.a. Evelilian, what? From Ravenhold EU here. Can I please get a shout-out from me and my guild Aurora's Promise for downing Yogg-Saron on 10 yesterday, for the first time as guild, and also for obtaining a full Tier 8 mage set in just 2 weeks. Yes, Tier 8 from the instance, not the silly badge vendor. It may not be much in the current raiding scene, but it's quite a huge feat for myself, for Yogg-Saron was a boss I never thought I'd get to experience. Boy, was I wrong, I'm happy for it. That's it, right there. Doesn't matter in the great scheme of things, who cares? You are the great scheme of things. Sod the rest of it. Shout out to the piggy still stuck in the Barrens. Also, F you, because I've started playing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, and every time in the downtown area I expect to hear a voice going, yes folks, this is Total Biscuit. The voice never comes but still plays in my head. That's from Zarathera. That is very, very worrying. A shout out to the Dark Whispers Guild and Dragonblight US. That's from Will W. To Cretins United for actually beating Twin Valkyrs hard mode by exploiting the door. Incubus from Cretins United EU. Congratulations, you've just announced live on WoW Radio to tens of thousands of listeners that you exploited. Congratulations. A shout out to me for scoring free course literature, a really cheap first-class train ticket, and kicking ass at Tales of Asperia. Also a shout out to, what the hell is that? Elenthari and Rostov on Outland EU. That's from Ladina, level 80 mage. Gonna get a shout out to me for having a birthday tomorrow and leveling a shaman from 68 to 79 in one night. That's Uncreative. Also a shout out to Uncreative's girlfriend, who recently got back from the USA after 2 months of high school over there. Hopefully she'll be more active in game now. So yes, happy birthday to you, Uncreative, the Resto Druid on Jadenar. 2 shout outs. First, from what? Why do you have to have these nonsense names? Verulentus, also known as Ken. Yeah, why don't you just go with Ken? Officer of Jotunheim on Doomhammer EU. A shout out to Norland, or Nolard, whichever, GM of Jotunheim. And for getting Valinar, the Hammer of the Ancient Kings, yesterday. Congratulations, and a second to our guild Jotunheim for killing 25-man Yogu with 3 keepers for the first time rock on Jotuns. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And can you have an epic drop in? Yes, you can.
Epic.
Shout out. Liberate and Dimorak, Poning Ally News. A shout out to the Ancient Blades of Steamwheel Cartel, EU, on Samihano. And a shout out to myself and Jen, who are approaching our 2-year anniversary on the 20th of October. And we will try to do the best we can, bearing in mind we're in separate countries. Kinda sucks right now. However, will that stop us from having fun? No. No, it will not. Can I get a shout-out to Bunkerface for finishing Ikaruga? That is quite the feat. Yes, you can. And last but by no means least, a shout-out to... Well, I'm certainly not going to say that and all. That's not very nice at all. A shout-out to the WoW refugees on DDO. That's from Night Mother. I am basically done, folks. Ladies and gents, again, thank you very much for listening to the show. You are, as always, fantastic. Please help out with the Sir Noggin Fund. We are so close to the goal. Check it out, sirnoggin.com. Click the How to Help button. You'll see the big chip-in window. It'll tell you exactly how we're doing. Go and help out. We can do it. I know we can. I want to go on next week and say that we've achieved it. I want that to happen. Make it happen, folks. A couple of dollars. Tell your friends. Show them the video. Challenge them not to want to help. Thank you ever so much. I've been Total Biscuit. This has been Blue Please. Check out our other fine shows on WCRadio.com. They are all absolutely great. Rate and review us using iTunes. If you have the time, please, by all means. It really does help an awful lot. And we love getting the feedback. WoW Radio's Twitter feed is at WoW Radio. Total Biscuit's Twitter feed is at Total Biscuit. And I am out of here. Good night.